up guys, it's Bebe. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for clicking on this video today. We're gonna do my Tomorrowland recap and review. So as you guys have seen, I've already posted my vlogs. I also did a Q&A if you want to watch that, answering all of your guys' questions that you submitted through Instagram, going real into depth. I always do my recap and review after every festival I attend. I just go through the basics, what I experienced, things I liked, things I didn't like. And I addressed a lot of this in the Q&A as well, but in the spirit of just keeping things uniform, we're gonna do one for Tomorrowland as well. So just to reiterate, but you saw in my other videos, I did Spectacular Easy Tent Camping and I did Global Journey to and from Amsterdam, which I can't recommend enough. Spectacular Easy Tent like had some of its cons, but I still was really comfortable, and if it meant I could go to Tomorrowland again, only having that camping as an option, I would pick it just to go to the festival again. So, but that's the package that I did. So let's just get into the usual topics that I discuss. And I'm gonna try and go a little quicker than the Q&A because the Q&A ended up being really long because I like to yap about this festival. Sue me. Weather and terrain. So I thought that the weather was very good for camping, but we got very, very lucky. Tomorrowland is notorious for having rain every single year. It is what it is. It's a very rainy part of the world, but we had really, really good camping weather because it only rained on Thursday and it honestly wasn't even that heavy, so it wasn't bad at all. And in terms of the temperature, it was really nice. It was never hotter than 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was pretty like partly cloudy the first 2 days, so camping was still like comfortable. You didn't have the sun beating down into your tent and you waking up just drenched in sweat. That's always the worst experience. Oh my god, just thinking about that just gives me the shivers. Like, I hate that more than anything in the world. It will rain, and we got lucky again. Overall, really nice weather. I would say the last day was pretty hot, but that was because it was mostly sunny, so when you're in the sun and it's, even if it's like 75 degrees Fahrenheit, like it's still gonna feel hot. I'm glad that you guys saw we went with our friends Matt and Claude. They went the previous year. Claude had advised to me to just buy like throwaway sneakers to just wear for the weekend and then leave behind, because it can get really muddy from the rain and you are not going to want to travel with those shoes, those dirty, disgusting shoes, back in your suitcase. And I'm very glad she told me that, because I did that and can confirm at the end of the weekend, even with just it raining on Thursday, it's still like a grassy festival for the most part. Not at every stage, but at a lot of them. And so at the end of the weekend, my shoes were just gross, and the thought of putting them back in my suitcase, even in a shoe bag, like so it doesn't touch other clothes, I don't know, I was just like, whatever. So I bought some throwaway sneakers for that. I'm really glad I did. They were like $25 on Boohoo. I think she got hers from Pretty Little Thing, and they were just fine for the weekend. In terms of terrain, the main stage is obviously on a hill, which I really liked because no matter how big the crowd got, like you could always have a good view because you just keep like moving up until you can see everything nicely, and everyone can have a good view. But that hill, if you're not used to physical exercise on a regular basis, that's not going to be a comfortable walk for you. And in general, it's a little hilly in certain parts of the venue, but honestly not really. Like, it's mostly flat, and just be prepared for a lot of walking. A lot. I think the first day we ended up walking like 35,000 steps or something like that. It is a lot of walking. I'm actually really glad that we were in London for 3 days prior, because we walked like minimum 25k steps in London every day. And I think that just got us like in the zone for walking that much. So for transportation, so again, I camp, so I'll use this category to talk about Global Journey itself and that transportation process. So again, I did Amsterdam, and the way there was just a Eurostar, and then it went into Brussels, and then they had a shuttle for us at Brussels to take us to the festival grounds. And then at the end of the weekend on Monday, our train back to Amsterdam was actually out of Antwerp, which worked out better because Antwerp is closer to Amsterdam. But basically they had a bus at the festival grounds that took you right to Boom train station, just like the local town's train station. It was kind of funny. I was like, this is like Belgian NJ Transit. You know what I mean? Anyway, okay, who cares? We took that train to the Antwerp train station, which was beautiful, by the way, and I got a Belgian waffle in there, trust, and it was fucking delicious. Anyway, we took then the train from Antwerp to Amsterdam, back to Amsterdam. So honestly, like, it sounds like a lot, but I promise you it was so seamless. And once you buy your global journey package, like during the on sale, and you pick your train times, which might adjust a little bit. We had some friends who booked one time and like it adjusted by a few hours. But you pick your times, and from there, the festival handles everything for you. They book your tickets. If you need any additional like shuttles or trains, that kind of transpo, they also book that for you. Like, they got our Boom to Antwerp train ticket, and they just send you all the tickets before the festival weekend. Send you an email like explaining and outlining everything. So even if you're not someone who's like very well traveled, I promise you, it's not overwhelming at all. Very simple. You're with a bunch of people who are traveling to and from the festival, and overall, like, it was so easy from start to finish. Just to have, like, I'm a planner, okay, I like to plan everything and have everything laid out myself, but to be able to just like sit back and know that Tomorrowland was doing it all I had to do was pick what times I wanted to get to and from Amsterdam. Beautiful thing, would recommend. Okay, for the vibes, I addressed this a lot in my Q&A, and I also have a whole video up about this on my channel from, I don't even know how long ago. It had to have been from almost 5 years ago at this point. I look like a baby in it. But just talking about like the vibe at European events versus US events, it's just different in the EU, and it's a different that I personally like better than US events. It's just way more relaxed. People are still very nice, and like the crowd is vibing, and the sense of community at Tomorrowland especially is awesome. Like, that was one of my favorite parts, because it's so global and people come from all over the world, and you have people walking around with like everyone, a lot of people who have been a bunch of times, like wear all of their bracelets from all of the years they've gone, and it's just so cool. Like, such a good sense of community. It's really hard to put the difference of vibe in words in terms of US versus Europe, but I think it comes with like the age demographic is a bit older over there for Tomorrowland, especially. Like, I felt like the youngest person there, and I mentioned this in my Q&A, but I really did, and I'm 25, or I just turned 26, Jesus Christ. But I really felt like one of the youngest people there, and I just feel like the crowd and the energy is just more mature. People are just handling their shit better. It's more put together, and just less like, oh my god, like American festivals. I don't know, walking through the crowd at EDC Vegas sometimes, or like all these other festivals, I'm like, are you guys good? Like, what the fuck is going on? For vendors, in terms of lines and prices, I never waited long for anything. And this is always a hot topic about Tomorrowland versus US festivals. Yes, the food is cheaper, the drinks are cheaper. The drinks, like the cocktails, aren't that much cheaper. Honestly, yeah, they kind of were. Because sometimes a fucking cocktail at a festival, I'll get like a double vodka soda or whatever, that shit will be like $30. Definitely cheaper, and the food is just way better quality, like so much better. Another cool thing was that in the campgrounds they had reusable cups from all the bars, and if you returned those cups, you got pearls added back onto your bracelet, so you can use that to spend on other things. And there's so much food diversity, obviously, because it's a global festival, and the food quality is incredible. I talked about this in the Q&A. I'm sorry if a lot of this is redundant, but I just felt better physically overall. Just eating at American festivals, sometimes it's like just the fried shitty food. And I'm not saying there's not fried food at Tomorrowland, there is, but I just feel so crappy whenever I eat at festivals in the US. I just feel like, ugh, you know, like sluggish, and my stomach hurts, and you know. But the festival food at Tomorrowland was way better. And in terms of the alcohol, I mostly did wine. I consumed so much rosé at this festival. But they also had really good specialty drinks, like the Tomorrowland cocktail. I forget what was in it. It was like honey, vodka, lavender, like something like that. Oh, I wish I could remember. It had like cucumber in it too. It was so refreshing, so good. And they also had, oh my god, you saw in the vlogs, but guys, they had a matcha. It was like a matcha latte and a pina colada mixed together. It was like matcha, coconut, pineapple with rum in it as well. I took one sip of that and I said, I need this injected into my veins. It was so fucking good. I just, oh my god, I want one so bad right now. It was so good, you guys. Anyway, the point is, the specialty drinks are awesome, and they had espresso martinis. Trust, we found those so fast, like true fucking Americans. We saw the espresso martinis, we said, we're on our way. To touch briefly on security, I didn't know, but apparently there's a rule at Tomorrowland that when you arrive to camp on Thursday and go through that security, like with all your luggage, they're not allowed to touch your stuff. I don't know why. If someone knows, please let me down below. I don't know if it's a liability thing, but I thought that was really interesting. Like, they just ask you to open your bag, and they asked me to like move some stuff around, like I had packing cubes, but they can't touch anything. And I was like, that's a little weird. Anywho, other than that, we never waited long to get into the festival itself, like that security area, but we also got there super early each day. So production and layout, some of the best festival production I've ever seen in my entire life. Every stage was so unique, and yet somehow it all tied together, like the butterflies and freedom and just, I don't know, oh my god, it was so good. Every stage was just gorgeous. I also loved the layout. Again, it's a lot of walking, but honestly, I almost didn't mind all the walking just because the scenery is nice and you're walking past all these beautiful stage designs with all different sounds and genres playing. There's one point in the festival, like when you're walking from the main stage side to Freedom, which is all the way at the other end, there's like this beautiful body of water. You can walk over a bridge to get to where Freedom is, and I don't know, it's just like, it's visually pleasing. It's not like you're just walking around like a parking lot, if you will, like some festivals are in, and that's no shade whatsoever. I'm just saying that like it alleviated the pain of walking everywhere, because I'm just like, oh, this is so beautiful, like wow, love it. But again, it is a lot of walking, so you have to prepare for that. And I think it's hard to pick a favorite stage. Honestly, my highlights were definitely, I can't not say main stage. That design was ridiculous. And I also loved how when you walked around, like if you're looking at the stage, if you walked around the left side and exited that way, they had like this beautiful like wall art of every Tomorrowland stage over the years. They had a whole like info piece on like how the main stage was designed, how it came to be. It's a whole, they explain how it's hand painted. Oh, I was like, this is ridiculous. So main stage, I also loved Rose Garden. I loved Freedom because the butterflies, I thought they were so cool, and the production in there was sick. The library was really cool. The cage I absolutely loved. Just the production was incredible. Like, ugh, it was so, so good. In terms of lineup, I absolutely love the genre diversity of Tomorrowland, and this is one of those things where I do think you can compare it to EDC Vegas or a festival like that in that sense, just because they do cover most sounds of dance music. Like there's house, there's techno, there's hard dance, there's dubstep, there's drum and bass, you know, there's all the things. And I feel like I saw a really good variety of everything that I wanted to see. I saw drum and bass, I saw house, all the different subgenres of house, techno. I feel like I got my fix of everything that I wanted. And even seeing like the classic EDM DJs playing on main stage, just like, it was a fucking vibe, you know? And you saw in the vlogs, I was having a blast. And even that brought me joy, seeing Swedish House Mafia and ending the weekend with David Guetta with all our friends. It was just fun. And I just really, really liked the lineup. I feel like they did a good job at pulling in those newer, cooler names while also having like the staples. And overall, I dug the lineup. The only thing I wish is that it didn't fully change weekend one versus weekend two. Like I really wanted to see Sub Focus, but he was only weekend one, but that's okay. Would I go back? 1 million, 10 million, bazillion, thousand, 100 million%, yes. And we are already planning for next year. I just feel like it is, even for being a festival very far away, best bang for my buck. Saw so many artists I love, amazing stages, production, got to travel before and after, see places I haven't seen before. Would recommend, would go back, and probably will do Global Journey again. And I just loved it so much, and I can't shut the fuck up about it. And that's just the way it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this more swift recap and review. I don't want to bore you guys with my yapping again, so wanted to make this one quicker. But I appreciate all of the support on all the Tomorrowland content, and definitely subscribe if you're new, because I will do more and more, especially as on sale comes closer. So thank you guys so much for watching and for being here, and I just love this festival so much, and I'm very happy to cover it and kind of show you guys and tell you about the experience. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.